In this lecture, we are going to talk about how we can subscribe the topics with the help of Node.js. That means now we are going to subscribe our topics outside of our Salesforce environment, and we are going to get the data into the Node.js server. Now, before we go ahead, let's talk about the prerequisites. Prerequisites for this lecture is you must need to have the Node.js installed into your system. What you can do is you can quickly go to Google and then you can just search for a Node.js download and download the latest stable version of Node.js. Install that into your PC and you can download for whatever the machine that you are using, either Windows installer or you are using macOS. You can download any of these. Once you are done with that, and that is the first prerequisites. Second is that very basic, a little understanding of JavaScript, because we are now going to write the complete JavaScript code to subscribe the event, subscribe the topics outside of Salesforce. And inside JavaScript, if you know the concept of ES6, ECMAScript 6 or above, that is well and good. These are the prerequisites for that. And before we actually start implementing, let's talk about a use case here. Why we are implementing this, why we are subscribing the topic outside of our Salesforce environment. Now, suppose that you are working on a module called order management, where you are storing the orders in that Salesforce, and the rest everything is done into the different system where that is a data warehouse, or we can say that is a OMS system, which your delivery persons and other persons are using to track. Now you have changed the status of the order inside your Salesforce environment, saying that it is shipped. Then that order must be changed into the OMS system to the shipped. And if you are changing the status out for delivery in Salesforce, it must be reflected into the OMS to the out for delivery, so that both the system can be in sync and there will not be any data loss. That is what, and that is why we are subscribing our events, our topics outside of our Salesforce. This is a very basic use case. There might be different others. You might want it to integrate different system, because these days one system is one system doesn't work alone to serve a particular functionality or to serve the complete application. There are various systems, there are many systems which are involved to complete a particular application. We have to think on that side. Now let's see what is a sample code here. As we talked about, we are going to work on Node.js, and to work with Salesforce related code inside any outside of environment, we have two options. One is we can expose or we can consume Salesforce API, and then we can expose that in any programming language like Java, JavaScript, PHP, or any other language. Second is there is a JavaScript API available, which is free open source API, JSForce, which we can use. For this demo, we are going to use JSForce. JSForce is an API which provides us the ability to connect with Salesforce, and we can perform various operations like query, create, tooling API, metadata API. That API has ample number of operations that we can do outside of our Salesforce. Even we can also use that API inside Visual Force pages, Lightning Web components, Aura components. That availability is also available there. Now to connect with Salesforce, this is very simple code here. Now you can see, right, in the Node.js, require is something. Let me quickly give you an example here. In the Visual Force page, if we try to include any external library, what we do, either we put them into the script tag directly, whatever we get using the CDN, or what we do, we download that library, upload into the static resource, and then use that with the help of apex colon include script or apex colon include style sheets, those various tabs. In Lightning component, what we do is we use ltng colon require. In Aura component, we import those and then we use those. Likewise, to use any external library into the Node.js programming, we use require. What require say? Require say that now we are going to import this library from the external system. But before we use, like say in Salesforce, we do download and upload into the static resource. Same way, in the Node.js, we download that. How we can download, we will see. And then to log in into the Salesforce, we have various ways. We already have seen, like we can use username and password, we can use OAuth 2.0, we can use JWT. In the OAuth 2.0, we have various flows, we can use all those. All those flows are supported by JS Force. But for the demo purpose, I'm using username and password flow. I have given username, password. If you have your security token and you have not added your API, your IP ranges into the network section, into the network access of your Salesforce org, you must need to provide your security token. Where you can see these settings, log in into your Salesforce org and go to the setup from the setting. In the quick search box, just find network and go to network access under security control. Now here you can see that I have not added any IP ranges. Still I'm not giving the access token. Why? The reason is that in my profile IP range, in my profile label, I have added the IP ranges. So if you have not added IP ranges either at profile label or at network access label, you must need to provide your security token. So here, if you see in the user I am under user section, we need to check at a profile label. So I'm just going to profile, and under profile, I will see login IP ranges. I have added this IP range, and this is a universal IP range which contains every subnet mask. That is why I had no need to provide the security token. But if you have not added, you must need to provide the security token. How you can get? Just come to this screen by following the steps that we just did. And under this personal information, you will see one option called reset my security token. And you just need to click on that option and then click a button called reset security token. It will send a token to your registered email that you have used for registering your Salesforce org. Now once we did this, what we need to do is we need to create a connection object using JSForce. Likewise, we create the objects in Salesforce. We have got JS4.connection, store into a constant variable or let or var variable. And then we have got this connection.login. It requires a username, password plus security token, and then a function, a callback function which returns a success or response. Success and error. If there is any error, just return that. If there is a success, that means you have got the response. Then after you can perform any logic. Any logic means you can subscribe to a post topic which comes under streaming API. You can subscribe to a channel. You can subscribe to a change data capture, or you can try to do some query, create some records. You can perform any single logic that you want using this JSForce library. Now if you want to know more about JSForce, just go to Google and search for JSForce. The very first link is jsforce.github.io. Click on that. It is going to take you to the document section. And here you can see this is how you can install that JSForce with the help of your Node.js. If you wanted to use in a web browser, this is a script tag that you can use. In the Visual Force page, you can use like this, but this is a static resource we are using. We have to download and use the same. In the Canvas application, the command line interface, so we have got various ways to use this Node.js into our application. You can go to document, and in this section you will be able to see every single document you want. You want a connection, OAuth 2.2 for some queries, search language, some DML operations. You have got to get the metadata details, describe every single thing you will get over here. Now to get started, that what we have is I just created an application. So I have created a folder called events over here, and I created that. For the demo purpose, what I will do is I will quickly create a new folder over here. I'll say demo. Under demo, what I'll do is I'll just open the CMD, and if you have VS Code installed into your PC, just type code dot and dot, hit enter. It is going to open your Visual Studio Code. Now if you see here, I'm under this integration, and under integration I have got this demo. There is nothing under this demo folder. What I will do is I will create a new file here called index.js. You might want it to name it as server.js, or you might want it to name it as index.js, app.js, start.js. You can name it anything. Now what we will do is I'll just quickly go to the demo directory. So I'm under events. I first need to go to integration, and then I'll go to demo. I'm under the demo. First thing that you need to do is you just need to say npm install. It is going to install all the dependencies to run a Node.js project into your inside this folder, which is demo. Now I got here. Now you can see, right? I have got this package.json file, package log.json. Next, what you need to do is just say npm init. What it will do is it will create a package.json file, package.json file. Just name, you can just say that name, anything, version. I'm just putting enter. It is going to work for me. Now if you see here, we have got this package.json. Next, now what we need is we need to install JSForce dependencies. So what we will do is we will say npm install JSForce. This is what we have seen in the document itself. As soon as you will hit enter, it is going to download the complete JSForce inside this folder called demo. Now once we have got this, what we can do is we can use the exact code that we have over here. I can use the same over here. I just copied and pasted. First thing I will show you, I have got username, I have got password, this is my password, then security token. If I have a valid security token, I have to use password plus security token to log in into the system. As I don't have, I'm not using that. If you see under this, let me give it a room. So now if you see over here, what I did, I tried to create a post topic using JSForce. Yes, we can do that. We can create a post topic, we can create a record. We can perform DML on any object, which we can do using Apex. We can also even create classes using this connection using JSForce with the help of tooling APIs. And if you want to create this, let me uncomment this. I will show you what we have over here. Let me show you one thing. This is what we have used. This is the code that we have used for creating the post topics. In the post topic, what we have name, query, API version, notify for create, update, delete, undelete, notify for fields. Then we have got post topic. Sorry, this is what we have inserted. Exact same thing I did over here. And if everything is saying that it is a success, the record is created, I'm just putting that in a log to see what response we are getting from Salesforce. Now, if you try to subscribe the same event, the same post topic that you have created, what we can do is we can just quickly cut paste this code and put under the success. Why we are putting under success? Because we know if there is success, that means if this topic has been created, then only subscribe this topic. Now how we can subscribe? This is the connection. Connection is something which stores the session ID, org ID, user ID, and access token. And we are trying to access streaming events. What we are going to use topics and which topic we wanted to subscribe. And then this is a callback function. And this message contains everything. Everything means what is the event type, what is the created date, what is a subject ID, means the record ID, and the complete message over here. Now, once you have developed this, what you need to do is put this command node index.js. Now, why I'm using index? Because the file name is index. If you have a different file called server.js, use server.js over here. Now you can see here org is authenticated. This is what I have got, this console, and it is saying that org ID, user ID, org ID, and the URL. And then it is returning. Return means we are here under this console. It is saying that this is the post topic ID. Success is true. There is no error. That means we were able to successfully subscribe this event. Subscribe this topic. Now let's go ahead. As we have subscribed for the opportunities, I'm quickly going to create a new opportunity and see what will happen. I'll just put a name as cloned. Get back to our code here. We can see we have got event which is saying created, when the event has been created, what is record ID, and the complete event over here including stage name, ID, close date, name. Now let's go ahead and delete this opportunity, and what will happen? Because we have said before deleting, we have said that our code is going to notify us on delete as well. We wanted to be sync. We wanted to make sure our both the data set are synced, our Salesforce and order management as well. I will go ahead and delete this. As soon as it deleted, again we got a new event over here saying event type is deleted and ID is this. This is the ID. We can also use this ID as external identifier, and then whatever the ID. This time we are just getting ID instead of seeing all these, the name and all, because we don't need everything. We don't need every single information. So that is how we can do, and we can do means we can subscribe our topics outside of our Salesforce environment with the help of Node.js and JS Force. We have planned an assignment for you as well. Create a post topic which will be enabled for cases only, and this post topic will only send the notification for the closed cases as well. If you are creating any case which is closed, then send the notification, and this should be created by Apex. And then what you need to do is next create a Lightning Aura component. Use this component in homepage of your application, that might be sales, service, or any application, and then test that application. That component should work. If you subscribe your post topic, it should get the data. You can also try to show that data in tabular form, or you can try to show the data in an alert form. Anything that works for you, you can just do that. So that is how your component should look like, similar way we did into the previous lecture.